Secretary Liu, let me start with you. I just returned from a congressional delegation, bipartisan congressional delegation trip to Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. And as you well know, they have a policy, a third neighbor policy, and they want the United States to be that third neighbor. Do any of these other Central Asian countries view the United States in a similar vein? Are they interested in a third neighbor approach to serve as a counterweight to the influence of China and Russia?
So I've spent almost a decade of my life working on this region and 6 years living there. Boy, do they wish they could move. It's a tough neighborhood.
It is a tough neighborhood.
You got Iran, you got Russia, you got China, and they also often have disagreements amongst themselves. What I always say as an American diplomat is, we're a great partner because we're not anywhere close to you. We don't have territorial claims on your land. We don't want some trade access because we want to illegally move commodities through your borders. What we really want is for your economies to work with our businesses to create prosperity for our people and for their people. We want them to have democratic growth in their systems so they will be a long-term partner for the United States and provide stability and security. So I think all five of them want closer relations with the United States. Secretary Blinken will be meeting with the 5 foreign ministers of these countries next week on the margins of the UN General Assembly. They will be recommitting to that desire to have closer relations with the U.S.
How do these Central Asian states view the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and Xi and Putin's efforts to transform the group into an anti-Western alliance? How do you assess Central Asian states' attitude toward the Putin and Xi's attendance at this week's gathering of the SCO?
What I find so interesting as an American is watching the interplay at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization between the Russians and the Chinese. You know, they are purportedly these great partners, allies now, but they're not really when it comes down to working with the Central Asians. This is a place where they compete. And the SCO has Russia, has China, and the 5 Central Asian partners, and they're all competing for the attention and influence of these 5. And so Russia is busy undercutting the Chinese in terms of commercial interests, and the Chinese are trying to get into the door, doing a little security and political work in Central Asia, much to the chagrin of our Russian friends. So it's an interesting dance.
Assistant Secretary, are any of these countries more out front than others in terms of enabling sanctions evasion, the sanctions on Russian banks? Or
I would maybe say the opposite. What I can see today is the Kazakhs are really good at using our sanctions. When I say ours, I mean EU, Japanese, Australian, Korean, all of the partner country sanctions to get economic benefit for Kazakh people. 2 major Russian banks, the biggest banks in Kazakhstan, are now Kazakh banks. And the Kazakh new owners got them at rock-bottom prices thanks to our sanctions. Sir?
2 other quick questions because I'm running out of time. On natural gas, obviously Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan all produce significant volumes of natural gas. Are these countries viable alternatives to Russian gas for the European market?
We certainly believe that more Turkmen gas could be put into the pipe that goes to Europe and help to solve part of Europe's energy problems. Europe needs to figure that out for itself, however. The European Union has not yet said they want the gas. I think the Turkmen are interested in selling it. We are working with the EU to send clear messages.
And maybe state and commerce and perhaps even DFC could work in ways to bolster that potential relationship to decrease Western Europe's dependence on Russia. A final question, just to follow up Ranking Member Shabbat's question about our ISR capabilities on the over-the-horizon strategy post-withdrawal from Afghanistan. Why did the Biden administration, at least to date, fail to get basing agreements with some of these Central Asian countries? I know we don't have those agreements yet, but if we have this over-horizon strategy, what needs to be done?
I worked in Kyrgyzstan, a place where we had an American base for 13 years. I would say as an American diplomat, we have different needs today. And the Biden administration has made a commitment that we will continue to have this capability over Afghanistan, and that capability is continuing today.